And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're looking at another small card game from AEG called Cypher. Basically it's a futuristic card game for 2 to 4 players. Plays pretty quickly, probably about 15 minutes-ish. And where you're trying to employ different people of low class, middle class, and upper class and how they interact with each other. There's some interactions with the other players. Let's take a look. Here we have Cypher set up for 4 players. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a draw deck. We have what's called the display. And the start player will start with 3 cards. Now I have these 3 cards. They'd be hidden in my hand. Nobody else could see them. And what I do first is essentially I play a card from my hand and resolve its effect. Now there's 3 types of people here. We have lower class citizens by the down arrow, middle class, and we have the upper class there with the up arrow. And of course they have different point ranges. And you're trying to get the most points in front of you when the game ends. Now each of these have different effects. For example, if I played this one, when played I would draw 3 cards, then choose 1 card from my hand and remove it from the game permanently face down. The Syndicate Chief, while in play, the Syndicate Chief is in a play area with a lower class card, its value is increased by 3. So if these 2 guys are face down in front of me, because this is a lower class card, this guy would be worth 6 at that time. And the Corp Overseer, when placed, discard all lower class cards from your play area. So you place him and you'd get rid of this guy here, if he was in my play area. But these are actually in my hand right now. Also, it tells you the frequency of this. There's 2 of those cards, 1 of those cards, and 1 of those cards. So let's say I just play this Corp Overview guy and I play that. So the first thing I did was play. The next thing I do is draw a card. So now I'm back up to 3 in my hand. The next one is I pass 1 card to the player to my left and I pass 1 card to the player to my right. So from these I would look at them, figure out which one I would want to pass to the left, pass to the right. If I have more than 1 at this time because of certain effects, I would discard down to 1. When you discard in this game, it goes face down at the bottom of the draw pile, not in the display pile. But in this case, I have just 1, and that would be my turn. Now, it would go around like this. This person would do his turn, and keep going, and people would start getting more cards in front of them. But let's look at what some of these other cards do. The Bodyguard. When in play, you may discard Bodyguard to ignore other players' cards' effects. The Coder. While in play, you may draw 2 more cards when you are drawing cards. The Hacker. While in play, you may draw cards from the bottom of the deck when you are drawing cards. The Technomancer. When played, all other players must discard all upper class cards from their play area. Remember, the upper class ones are the purple ones with a lot of points. When played, switch positions with the Corp Overseer. So here's the Corp Overseer. You would switch positions with them. While in play, ignore the effect of other players' Technomancers, which, as we just talked about, essentially all other players must discard all upper class cards. So if you want to block him and you have an upper class card, you want that guy with the upper class guy. The Archivist, when played, add Coder from another player's area display to your area. The Fixer, when played, draw 1 card, then add 1 card from your hand to the play area. And the Aristocrat, when played, discard all middle class cards from your play area while in play. If you play a middle class card, you must discard the Aristocrat. And the Android has no effect, but it's worth 5 points. So as turns are going on, people are trying to get up to 3 cards. You can never have more than 3 in your area. If you get a 4th one, you have to decide which one to discard. And then the game end triggers in 1 of 2 ways. Either the draw deck empties, or someone plays a Cypher Anomaly card. And this card basically says, when played, draw 1 card, then add it to your play area, or discard it. This triggers the end game. Once the end game is triggered, then everybody gets 1 more turn, including you, and at the end, whoever has the most points in front of them is the winner. All right, well, there's Cypher. This game, first of all, plays 2 to 4 players. I did not like the 2-player variant that's in there. There's a variant to play 2 players. It was okay, but it doesn't have that interaction of playing with the other people. And what I mean by that is part of the thing that I liked about this game was when you're taking a card and then you're playing, you're passing 1 to your left, 1 to the player to the right. Depending on what they have in front of them is going to change what you do. I like how some of the different things interact differently with each other, the cards. There's something interesting here. It's not a bad game. I enjoyed it a little bit, but it didn't blow me away. For me, it's average. It's an average game. It's quick. It's pretty easy to teach. It's one of those games that the more you play it, the more you remember the interaction between the cards, the better it will get. But all in all, it's a decent quick card game. Plays best with 3 or 4. But it was just, I don't know, it was interesting. You're trying to figure out which cards to put down in front of you. You're trying to not help your help your opponent out the least. And you're trying to get the right cards in front of you when the end game triggers of the anomaly. But all in all, it's quite forgettable. It was okay, nothing fancy, nothing that just grabs you and says you want to play this over and over and over again. It wasn't a bad game. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. That's Cypher.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.